Hey, it's Jen. Welcome to Quick Hips, a nice quick yin practice, looking to release that deep tension held in the body, mind, and the heart. So for today's practice, you're going to want a bolster or a couple of pillows to provide a little bit of support as we move through this quick little yin practice. So we're going to begin in seated with the soles of the feet together and just allowing the knees to fall out to the side. So we don't need to worry about how close the feet are to the body, but just giving ourselves that opportunity to kind of settle into our space. If we're feeling really tight through the hips, we may want to tuck a pillow or some other sort of support under both of the knees, just so that the body feels really, really held and supported here. Close down through the eyes and begin to connect in with the breath. Without any judgment, just become aware of where in the body our attention is sitting, or maybe even right in those hips. So where exactly in the hips are we holding tension or stress, worry, anxiety? See if we can give ourselves that permission to soften. If you're wanting a little more here, you may choose to hinge forward at the hips, finding a gentle fold, or maybe reach those hands back behind you, opening up through the front body. We're just going to find about 5 more breaths here. Staying really connected with that breath. Let's return that torso upright as we invite the hands to the outer edges of the legs or the knees, supporting those legs back up together. Just stretch those legs out nice and long. Give them a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a shake. Good, and then we're gonna find that bolster or those couple of pillows that you have with you. And you can draw the short edge of the pillows or the bolster right up against the back of the sacrum or the bottom of the spine there. We're gonna walk those knees nice and wide, about the width of our mat, so wider than hip width. And then let those knees fall over towards the right. So shift in our deer shape. So you may actually, if you're getting a lot of sensation, maybe you wanna just stay here laying back a little bit. Or we can actually begin to rotate ourselves towards those pillows, either finding a side lying position or turning a little bit more, thinking about drawing the chest right down to the support. So if we're in that side lying position, that bottom arm, that right arm can just be used as a pillow here. We can kind of tuck it around the head, just whatever feels comfortable for you. And then that top hand can really rest wherever feels comfortable. It can rest at the hip. If we want a little bit more opening through the side body, maybe we reach that arm up overhead as well. Let's think about allowing the pelvis to be really heavy here. Giving ourselves that permission to let go of all of the tension, except that what we need to kind of keep our bodies safe, but we should feel pretty supported here with our props. And dropping into that breath. Our yin practice really gives us that opportunity to open space in the body, slowly, gently, and patiently. So we never want to force our shapes or positions in our yin practice. or really anywhere in our yoga practice. We want to always honor our bodies, but especially in our yin practice, we want to actually give ourselves a little bit of room to drop deeper into the shape as we're here, a little bit longer than some of our other practices. We hold our shapes longer in our yin. So we don't want to or need to jump right into the full expression of the shape. Just because our bodies can force deeper, it doesn't mean that's where we need to be. So if you're someone that likes to move a little quicker, faster, always wanting to kind of get to that destination, then our yin practice may be more of a mental challenge than physical challenge for you. So just accept that as it is as well. And our yoga practice is never just about our physical bodies. Let's find one more breath here on this side. Slowly and gently, we're going to begin to support ourselves back up through seated. So we can roll back through midline. Just take a moment to pause here, stretch those legs out long. Just kind of become aware of what's happening in your body. And then we'll head into the other side. So I'm just going to shift my bolster so I can not have my back to you, but you're welcome to just stay seated the same way. And let those knees fall over to the left side this time. So again, if you're getting a lot of sensation just here, then please just stay here. This is a really great opener for the hips. If you want that little bit more, we can start to lay down. So I'll encourage you to find the same expression of the shape that you found on that first side. I always encourage, no matter what style of yoga you're practicing, to find a similar expression from side to side as you can. Even though our bodies aren't completely symmetrical and one side may be more flexible or one side may be stronger, practicing symmetry as best we can in the poses will help to draw more alignment into our bodies, not only physically, but also emotionally and energetically. So once again, just really letting that pelvis get heavy. I should have mentioned on the first side, but if you want to tuck something under either one of the knees, or if you even want to pull that right knee forward to the right ankle just to provide a little more support, please do. Our yin practice should never really be uncomfortable. There maybe is that little bit of unease or that resistance, we'll call it. We should never actually have pain. So really connected with that breath. Our next inhale, let's begin to walk ourselves back up. We're moving nice and slow, remembering that we're taking a couple minutes or more to get into these shapes, so we don't want to just jump right out of them. We'll give our body time to adjust as we move out slowly and gently. So once again, we can stretch those legs out long, give everything a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a wiggle. You can slide that pillow or bolster out of the way as you invite yourself all the way down to your back. taking a moment to draw the knees in towards the chest. Release a little bit through that low back, around the sacrum there. Some rocking side to side or front to back. And stretching that left leg out long, we can hug that right knee into the chest. So you can either reach that left leg out straight on the mat, or you can stay rooted down through the sole of the foot with a little bit of a bend through the knee. And then we'll think about drawing that right knee in the direction of the right shoulder. Just a little bit of opening through that hip. And then we'll bring that knee back kind of to midline or to its natural position. And then let's think about pulling it up towards that left shoulder. It's getting a little bit of opening through the outside of that hip there. Being careful with our hand placement that we're not holding too tight on the knee and really pulling across. So either the front of the shin, maybe even one hand, that right hand up on the thigh. So there's not unnecessary force on that knee joint. And then let's release that leg out long. Just take a breath here. And inviting that left knee into our chest. Again, if you want to keep that right foot grounded down for a little bend, you can. And then guiding that left knee towards that left shoulder. And let's draw that left knee across towards the right shoulder, beginning to get the stretch through that outer part of that left hip. And gently releasing here, just stretching out long, finding a breath. And sliding those heels up the mat space. We're gonna lift the hips just enough that we can slide our pillows, our bolster, you could even use a rolled up towel or something, underneath of the hips. So something that can support right across the back of the pelvis. Let's allow ourselves to rest down heavy into that support. So there's a few options here. This is a really good release for the low back and those SI joints, so right where our pelvis and our hip bones meet. So we can stay just like this, those arms resting to the belly or alongside the body, maybe just drawing the shoulders down and back, and we get that little bit of opening through the heart as well. If we are wanting a little bit more sensation, we can slowly stretch the legs out a little bit longer, so either straight or even just a little bit straighter. We want to make sure that our low back continues to feel supportive. So if you're getting any pinching in the low back, just draw in a little bit. It's beginning to get that opening through the front of the hips. And then maybe stretch those arms out wide like a T or even up overhead, just finding length through the front of the body here. Just gonna stay for about 10 breaths. Those arms are outstretched. Let's bring them back alongside the body. If those legs are outstretched, let's start to draw those heels in a little bit closer. Press into the feet as we lift the hips. Let's slide whatever support we're using out of the way and release those hips back down to the mat. Just notice how that feels. So staying here, maybe stretching those legs out nice and long. Press those arms alongside the body, closing down through the eyes. Just give yourself that chance to drop into a little bit of stillness, a little bit of silence. Remain here in your Shavasana as long as you need, taking the time to absorb that practice. Become aware of that space that's been created. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today for Quick Hips Yin practice. And I'll look forward to practicing with you again very soon. Namaste.